Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Chris with Digital REM. Welcome back to Live at Lunch. Live at Lunch, Chris with Digital REM. In this lesson, we're going to talk about the tools of Titans, but we're going to cover the chapter with Sophia Amoruso. Sophia Amoruso, the interview with Sophia and Tim Ferris. So we're going to cover that in this chapter of Tools of Titans. While we give people the chance to fall up in here, we're going to cover some housekeeping, what we achieved yesterday. What was that one thing we did yesterday? It ended up being two things, so we're going to cover those two things that we did yesterday. First, starting with, we uploaded the Live at Lunch, which is available on digitalrem.com. We also made the template for creating your graphics buttons, so that is available on our shop right now. So we made that template, we made the video to support that template, so when you download that template, there is a video that supports it to show you exactly how to use it, so you can create your graphics button with your branding and everything else included. So at the end of the day, it's really just a tool that allows you to, keep your branding consistent and give you the tools to make production a little more seamless. But with that being said, how much is it? It's free. It's free. Just go to digitalrem.com and you can download it for free. So, I mean, you can't beat free. Boom. With that being said, if you are watching us on IG, make sure you check us out on Dream TV by hitting the link in the bio. Hit the link in the bio, and you will see a Dream TV button. You can check us out on Dream TV like that. So when we are doing production courses, which everybody who tuned in yesterday had the opportunity to see, we're doing the production course or creating that video to support the template. They were able to ask questions, engage, and things like that while I was actually creating a video. So at the end of the day, they were getting a one-on-one, quote-unquote, one-on-one virtual lesson on how to use the template. So when they download it, they already know how to use it. So boom, it was just like that. That simple, that easy. What else did we do? The second thing that we ended up doing, we finished our content. So all the content for the funding, the third book, the funding book is available. Well, the book is not available yet, but the content is made. Now we're gonna proofread it and make sure it is correct. During the process of creating the third book, I decided there's going to be a fourth book. I can't stop. I just can't stop. So there's going to be a fourth book. The fourth book is going to cover, we'll make it it ain't going to be a surprise. I was going to say we'll make it a surprise, but it's not going to be a surprise. The fourth book is going to cover what is considered manufactured spending. So essentially, how to utilize your credit cards. Now that you have all of these credit cards, how to utilize them to build your points and things like that. So that fourth book is going to cover some of the strategies as far as building your points, some of the things you can use as far as building up your rewards points, your bonus points, your flight miles, and all this stuff, and some of the strategies that we will share with you. So that will be that as far as the two things that we covered yesterday. So boom, we gave people a little chance to hop up in here. Shout out to you who are chatting. Unfortunately, I do not chat back. I'm not really into the, I'm not gonna say into the chat back, but I don't chat back. I pretty much hit the ground running because I don't want this to draw out too long. So shout out to everybody who is in the comments right now. I appreciate y'all tuning in. So let's just hop right into this, right? Sophia Amoruso. All right, who is Sophia Amoruso? To be totally honest with you, I'm not particularly familiar with who this is, but we're gonna read about her because obviously she made the book for a reason, right? So Sophia Amoruso, founder and executive chairman of Nasty Gal, a global online destination for both new age and vintage clothing, shoes, and accessories. So there might be people out there who are into fashion and things like that who are starting their fashion business. Take some tips from Sophia right here. Boom. She was Sophia has been called fashion new phenomenon, phenom by Forbes magazine. So again, she's made a name for herself. So take notes from her, right? And this is a one-pager, so it's gonna be a very short video today. But hey, sometimes it's like that, but we're gonna get the value out of it what we can. We're gonna milk it for all we can. We're gonna, well, I said milk it, that's kind of funny, but I said milk it, but I'm really thinking juice it, like orange juice, like juice it for everything we can get out of this. So let's just get the most out of this one page as we can, right? All right, jumping and building a plane on the way down. this is one of the concepts she kind of introduced. I like to make promises that I'm not sure I can keep, and then figure out how to keep them. I think you can will things into happening by just committing to them sometimes. So this is something I'd have to get comfortable with. This is something I'm not. Me personally, I'd rather learn everything, learn as much as possible, and then let it be known what I can produce. Now, with that being said, I can see the value in what she's saying, because now when you commit to something, even though you know you can't do it, it forces you to get outside of your comfort zone and come up with creative ways to make it happen, because now your feet are to the fire, whatever term you want to use, but now the pressure is on to make it happen, because you put your word behind it, you put it in, and your word is everything when it comes to business. So if you mess up one thing, that in essence will be your reputation for the next business venture or the next thing. So really being in a way, I would say being bold enough, courageous enough to make promises that you know you possibly might not be able to keep from your initial point of view, but again, it puts the pressure on, like, hey, make it happen, pull the resources together and make it happen. Some things you could pull things out of yourself that you never knew you can do. And it kind of reminds me of what we talked about yesterday with Peter Diamandis. Peter Diamandis, when he had the contest for a $10 million prize, but he didn't even have $10 million to give. So if you're interested in learning about that, make sure you go to digitalrem.com and make sure you watch that video on Peter Diamandis, and you can understand how that story went. But yeah, overpromising and if you want to say in hopes to be able to provide what you promise. So again, I wouldn't suggest this. This is my personal opinion for my platform, for everybody in the community. I wouldn't personally suggest this to anybody, because I wouldn't want to veer anybody the wrong way. But if you were to do this, definitely do it with something that you are familiar with, that you feel comfortable with, that you might be able to produce. Like, I want to give an example, but I'm not going to give an example. But something that you feel comfortable that you could produce. Like if you were in digital media, if you were a content creator and you probably created graphics before, but you've never done a website, going to somebody saying, like, I could produce your website, that's not as far-fetched as saying I can give you something that I don't even know. I can give you a real estate building or something like that you have no resources to pull off. But as far as graphics, as long as you create graphics, you more than likely can adapt that experience to creating a website. So finding things that are I want to say relatable, but that's not the word. But finding things that are similar in similar industries or similar to what you already can do. You can do like 25-50% of that, the process that you're promising, and then that other extra 50%, that's where you're gonna have to become creative. But don't go off where a whole process that you have 0% experience in, then it makes it that much harder. At least start with something that you have somewhat experience in, and then that forces you to gain more experience and just put your feet to the fire. So I don't want to go too long on that, but I think y'all pretty much get it. She I wouldn't say likes to do this. Well, she says it in her own words. I like to make promises that I'm not sure I can keep, and then figure out how to keep them. So that's a comfort, that I don't have the luxury of having. I don't have the comfort. I don't have the luxury of making a promise that I know I can't keep. I like to go into things with more of I already have a tool belt that has everything I need. So whatever you throw at me, we can rock with it. We can figure it out. Or at minimum, for the most part, I already have 80%, 70% of the experience, at minimum 50% of the experience to get there. So figuring out the other 50% isn't that hard, right? So boom, we're just gonna rock it like that. We're gonna move on though. Tim Ferris says, like, what would you consider a successful day? Like when your day ends, how does your day end well? And she says, Sophia says, a day ends well. A day that ends well is one that started with exercise. That's for sure. So that's her personal perspective. Like a lot of people know of people who say, you know, when they exercise, they have a lot more energy throughout the day. I'm not gonna push exercise on anybody or give my perspective on that, but I think you could just take information from what she said, and if it resonates with you, it resonates with you, right? Who do you think of when you hear the word successful? This is Tim Ferris asking. Who do you think of when you hear the word successful? And she says, I just really want people to remember that they're capable of doing everything that the people they admire are doing. Maybe not everything, but don't be so impressed. So at the end of the day, and I think we both share this this viewpoint, is that nobody's really better than anybody else. Timing, I don't like to use the word luck, but timing, experience, and things like that contribute to somebody's success. So being at the proper place at the proper time, connected to the right people, would make somebody seem successful. It doesn't separate you from them. It doesn't make them smarter than you or anything like that. So really just preparing yourself, doing that one thing to take you closer to your goals every day, preparing yourself for your time, preparing yourself for your preparing your network, if you want to say, or your connections or your relationships, preparing all of that stuff for your time. So really just getting started now with that one thing every day, doing that one thing that takes you closer to your goals, and it's preparing you for your time when your time comes, where all your paths cross and it's that magical moment. So boom. So don't be so impressed. I guess that's where my head goes. There's no reason that you can't have the things that other people you admire have. Success sells this kind of ultimate destination when, even though I've accomplished something and you have accomplished something, I told you I was she said, I told you I was crying last night. It's not like I'm done, I've arrived, or anything like that. So at the end of the day, what she's saying at the end part is essentially like, even when you get to where you feel successful, you don't even feel successful, because it's always another level up. It's always another level. So really it's just more responsibility as you grow. And she says this in the next part as well. So Tim Ferriss asked advice to her 30-year-old self. It doesn't get any easier. The challenges are bigger with bigger things. So again, with more success, the challenges have just become bigger. But with that being said, you've become accustomed to the small challenges. You've become accustomed to solving the small problems. So the bigger problems don't seem as big, because now you're already accustomed to those bigger problems. Again, it's a journey. It's really, at the end of the day, a journey, and that's the end of this chapter. But at the end of the day, it's a journey. And there's nothing that keeps you from achieving anything that you see anybody else doing. Nothing besides you that keeps you from achieving those things. So if you, at the end of the day, some people like call it manifestation, but if you continue to put the energy, put in the sweat equity, put in the time, put in your resources, put in your experience, doing that one thing every day, continue to grow, continue to speak it into existence, eventually your time will come when all paths will cross and the timing will be perfect. When now you met somebody, or there's a certain situation that put you in the right place, that made that such a dynamic interaction where that is your time to shine. I feel everybody in this world has their time to shine. Now, Are you prepping for your time to shine? That's what you should be asking yourself. Are you preparing yourself for your time to shine? Because if you're not preparing yourself now, when your time comes, you might get overlooked, or you might miss your opportunity when it was right there at your fingertips. So are you prepared for your time to shine? Are you even growing the confidence to if you want to say I'm trying to think of the word. Are you growing the confidence to engage with that? Let me give you an example. Like, say we're gonna stay in the design world. Like, say, or we could do the business world. Since we made the business, we made the course from the 10 video course of starting your business. Doing that one thing, like if you did not start your business and somebody comes with you like, oh, I like who you are, I like the content that you create. Do you have a business? Because if you have a business right now, I can do whatever, blah blah blah. I'm making up something because there's so many different things, but we could do this because if you have a registered business, I can put you in this program, whatever the case may be. If you haven't even taken those one steps to even get you those one steps every day to get you towards establishing yourself, so when opportunities arise that you're ready, then I mean, what I'm trying not to get, I wouldn't say frustrated, but I'm trying to remain I don't know. But at the end of the day, are you preparing yourself? Are you preparing yourself right now before you even get any of this success or anything like that? Are you preparing yourself mentally, emotionally, physically, through experience, through trials and tribulation, through leveling up, through your finances, through everything? Are you preparing yourself for an opportunity that will present itself? So at the end of the day, that's what we're offering at digitalrem.com. If you are interested in learning more about digitalrem.com, just visit us on our website or go to the link in the bio, hit the link and just explore what we have to offer. Most of the courses are free. Everything is free currently right now. We are building out other courses that are higher level courses, but currently everything else is free. Like how to start your business, how to do it yourself, register your LLC and stuff like that. The foundation, the fundamentals are all free. So really, if you're not doing that one thing that takes you closer to your goals, that's on you. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video today. Prepare yourself. Start now to prepare yourself for an opportunity that's going to present itself. I promise you an opportunity will present itself, but are you going to be ready? Are you going to be ready for your opportunity? So with that being said, I could go into a Bible verse, and I will. Let's go into a Bible verse. That's just like the story about the talents. Like when God gave the three, I don't know what their titles were, but the three people talents. Like here, you have 2 talents or whatever, however many talents. You have 2 talents. You have 2 talents. You have 2 talents. He gave each of them 2 talents, and then one person went out and then multiplied their talents by when they came back with 10 talents, like, I got 10 talents now. Another person went and they doubled their talents, like, I got 4 talents now. And one person buried their talents, where they buried them like, I'm gonna just keep it in a safe place and bury it, and then when you ask me about my talents, I can at least pull it back out. I'm like, here are my 2 talents. And what happened, if you are familiar with the story about the talents, when God came back, it's like, present to me what you made of this. I gave you this tool to make this thing. What did you make of it? Did you sit on it, quote unquote, bury it, or did you make something out of it? Did you continue to do that one thing that takes you closer to your goals? Obviously, the one guy who had brought back 10 talents, he was doing the one thing that took him closer to his goal, closer to his goal every day. And then when he saw opportunities to make another talent on top of his 9 talents to make 10, he took that opportunity. So he's always open to always prepared, better yet, always prepared to see an opportunity to make another talent. Then you have the guy who did 2 talents. Like, he might be off and on. Like, some days I don't feel like doing that one thing that takes me closer to my goals. But I can sense an opportunity when I see one. If everybody else, you can even use this example. If everybody else is making money off of Bitcoin or something like that, at least I'm savvy enough to at least follow the lead. Like, so I can make on my 2 talents, I probably can make another talent because I see everybody else is doing this. So I'm gonna hop on board, hop on the bandwagon, boom, make another talent. Now I have 3, and then whatever the other opportunity presents itself, now I have 4. And then you have the guy who put his talents in his savings account and let it sit there and didn't do nothing. Didn't take a program, didn't get an education with it, just let it sit there, depreciating value as far as, you know, as far as people know, like the value of the dollar is going down, so depreciating value. And then let's get to the end of the story. God came back and asked, oh, you know, what did you, with those 2 talents, what did you make of them? And then the guy who made 10 talents, he's like, I got 10, gave it to God. Guy with 4, I got 4 talents, gave him the 4. The guy with 2 talents, like, I still got the 2, gave him the 2. He was disappointed with the guy who gave him 2. And it's like, I'm gonna take your talents and give them to the guy who made 10 talents. So with the inside of that story, and forgive me if I'm not like super factual with the story, because it could have been only 1 talent, it could have been 5 talents. I'm not sure exactly how many talents, and I'm not sure of the title of these men. Like, I don't know if they're farmers or whatever the case may be. And then, yeah, so with that being said, God noticed, like, there's a person who's putting in the work, who's putting in the sweat equity, who's doing that one thing that takes them closer to goals. I'm going to align the universe with that person, and I'm going to take what you have in your savings, or the talents that you buried that you didn't utilize, you have this information, you didn't utilize it. I'm going to take all that you have and give it to the person who is doing something, who's actually generating something, who's manifesting something, who's doing that one thing that takes them closer to goals, and realizing opportunities when they present themselves. Because if you are faithful in any kind of way to whatever God you worship, but if you're faithful in any kind of way, you know He will present opportunities for you to take advantage of. That he's in the business of blessings, so He's going to present opportunities for you to take advantage of. The thing is, are you taking advantage of the time to prepare for those opportunities? So with that being said, I'm gonna just leave that there. I hope this was valuable to whoever's watching at this time. This was Tools of Titans live at lunch with Sophia Amoruso, and you know she's in the retail space, so a lot of ladies out there who are into the retail space with the women products, you know, take notes from her with that, from her perspective. So with that being said, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Make sure you go to digitalrem.com and get your free membership. It's free. Again, it's free. You're getting free templates. Like I just said, I created the template for creating buttons, graphic buttons that will encompass, that you can use for your branding, to encompass your branding, but people can click on those buttons to go to your website, things like that. You can just utilize that template, Photoshop template, or the Instagram template. You can utilize the Instagram template that is also for free, that creates the thumbnails. So with that being said, or it has the dimensions to create the thumbnails. You have to create your own thumbnails, of course, or get a designer to create them. But with that being said, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Again, do that one thing. Like I always say, do that one thing that takes you closer to your goals. Everybody have a blessed day. Later, y'all. Peace.